trying to find all the motions and stuff that came out. I'll keep digging. Anyway, so, at the next, so basically what I'd like to establish tonight is what should I say? And any advice on what to say? Because I understand it. When we first went, we thought we were gonna get the money to just redo Station 13. And we thought that was, we were put some time and said we could do that. And then more finance. They said we have to go to town. PD and thank you for joining. Can you hear us? PD, can you hear us?
I can hear, yes. Well, you guys sound a little far though. Oh, I didn't hear that. Ugh,
We should ask for,
I can hear better now.
so we should ask for them, we should ask for some money just so we can react quickly, to any financial, needs that there are. I'd also mentioned that he didn't think that a clerk of the works was necessary for us because, remember why? Because of the oversight or
Because of the oversight from USDA?
something like that.
Yeah, was he talking about the, Station 13 grant, or was he talking about the whole grant?
I thought he was talking about Station 13, but perhaps not.
Yeah, well, I know there's certain tasks that we were gonna take on ourselves, I think.
Yes, because that was in the letter, that we read into the minutes for the Board of Selectmen meeting on Monday about having staffing here be clerk of the works. And he sort of, I thought that he was saying that that doesn't seem to be a necessary thing, but I don't think we should abandon that thought. I think we should just.
Because I don't see how it hurts.
I don't see how it can hurt you. I absolutely agree.
Dave volunteered.
Exactly, right.
Yeah,
I
I
think-
think to do it.
And I think we should just do
Yes, I mean, he's got the experience with the life.
exactly.
He's a
And if
contractor.
there's somebody from this committee looking at things, isn't that wonderful?
It is.
It's just a wonderful thing. So in spite of, whether or not he has the designation of clerk of the works, maybe he's
The designated.
the
Right,
committee,
representative.
exactly. And, I wouldn't mind, learning something, so I wouldn't, I wouldn't mind hanging out and I could learn something from him and then he wouldn't have to be alone. Would be lonely, but.
Yeah, clerk of the works generally doesn't have any real authority other than to oversee the make sure things are done in accordance with
Right,
the contract,
exactly.
in accordance with the drawing.
Right.
And report back to the owner, in this case, the town, this committee.
Exactly.
Whether or
So
not
I
there's an
can-
issue.
So maybe we won't call it clerk of the works, we'll call it committee oversight. Designee, so. So how much should I ask for? 80,000? What do we have left? About
What are this-
160?
I mean, what did this site work come to again? It's like 30?
22 or whatever.
I don't
I-
know what the material cost was.
Yeah, it's less than 30. Yeah.
But I hate to ask for like 30 and then probably need 32 or something, you know?
Because my thought is you should try and get permission to use all of the money that was allocated to this committee. How we see fit,
That would be best.
In concert. with-
because it's gonna continue with this project, I mean, we're gonna have one expense, another expense.
Right.
What are we gonna do, keep going back to town
I mean,
meetings?
you have to like go to Board of Finance or CIP, but something to avoid continual town meetings, which cost money.
I know.
And
Exactly.
the time is the biggest.
But the time is the
Time is the
issue.
biggest thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's the
Like,
schedule.
okay, there's like a weekly finance meet, like whatever, but a town meeting for every allocation seems, that's already been allocated, every use of the money that's already been allocated seems
Right.
counterintuitive, like it sounds.
That's why I think we can try and get permission to use what I can.
All right, well, that certainly can be,
The problem with town meetings is the legal notice and then timeframes. and-
Timeframe, the expense,
right,
I don't think there's a tremendous amount of expense involved with a town meeting as opposed to a referendum.
referendums, because you need a full pay plan, and that costs more.
No, I'm thinking about paid,
Oh,
the registrars.
Yeah, right,
Has
that's
to
right,
do
that's right,
that,
those,
they pay.
yes,
Right.
that's,
I don't know if it's premature, but I was thinking to ask for an additional funding on top of what was already been given to us, because the project Alex said last time was like 600,000. So again, we should get that ball rolling. If this grant thing is already, it sounds like it's pretty much underway.
yes, it does.
And it sounds like we have to spend before we can get reimbursed.
Mhm.
So we should be thinking a bigger number
Good plan.
to get closer to the project completion down there.
My take on both grants is the ag grant's probably closer to reality than the other ones.
oh,
Of course.
I mean, the other one is just like applied for.
Yeah, the other one's probably.
The ad grant would
going
be
to-
half.
The other one's probably not gonna happen on the first attempt, I mean, it's.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, we're talking about the ag grant for Station 13. I don't know if anybody, Rod or Tyler, if you guys have any more information on
No,
where
I
it
do.
stands,
no, it's just what Mike said, that's, it's in the works. We may get more, maybe we use all the funds as we see fit, but
Yeah, right, all right,
that's all
so
we know.
that's
in
the,
any case, I mean, we gotta get that building.
Right.
Under.
All right, well-
I mean, I think, I know that they said like the ag grant, oh, it might pay for site work, but the grant wasn't gonna cover the total estimated cost of the project anyway. So
Right.
like, I thought that the point of doing that ahead of time was something you can do ahead of time, something the town can do. And it's something to like continue to push the project forward.
right,
It's gonna be over the grant value anyway. It's like, why wouldn't we?
well, my argument for, that I'm going to present to the Board of Finance and CIP is that when we first asked for the money about design and engineering, we didn't know about what CERTCOG can do for us. We pay a lot of money to CERTCOG, I don't believe CERTCOG is CCM, so $15,000 or something. It's not throwaway money. And so that whole design and engineering plan for Station 13 for the rehabilitation was basically free, which we did not know about. The plans for Wellington Hill, those were already in a bucket. So they were able to be just, so all of that design and engineering work, at least for getting two stations, has cost us a lot less than we originally thought it would be, or what it could. So that's my argument to say, we don't need that money for design and engineering anymore, we need it for execution.
Well, we don't need it for Station 13.
For Station
We will need it to finalize something for.
Probably.
And
And I'm also gonna say that, and this is where I need a little help, but I need to tread carefully here, that I think that we can, at least I believe that the rehabilitation of Station 13, and even if this one, you know, which I'm not familiar with, that's may or may not be our 50-year solution based on the consultant's work, however. I'm thinking as a taxpayer, if all of a sudden the money goes through and Station 13 is rebuilt and absolutely usable for a foreseeable future, I can't really think taxpayers are gonna be jumping up and down to say, oh, we wanna build yet another new, you know, it doesn't, I think that they're, we kind of have to get that done, put that to rest, and sit on that for a while, then start incorporating into the 50-year plan and see what we have now. I don't know, that's what it feels like to me. I don't know if that's, there's only so much you can put on the tax roll.
Well, the reality is, and I know,
People that Ventures joins that, I can't read that, 640 or. Sort of like, okay, thanks for coming. So that's,
from Alex's position, we gotta get the equipment back.
right, we gotta get the equipment back. It's not sustainable the way it is there.
And before we start losing paid personnel.
Alright. That's right, so,
Look at what I'm saying, you know, an additional amount when you're having a conversation with the board of finance, right, should be at least brought up. Along with the permission to use the money that's already been given.
Well, did we get that?
no, I gotta ask for it.
I'm just anticipating it.
So we have to get on the board.
We got permission to ask for it?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah, that's basically the discussion. CIP and Board of Finance getting them to release funding to us.
Well, CIP doesn't release anything.
No, CIP doesn't, but the CIP's,
That's great.
we have a.
Because they're an advisory group to the board of select,
Yes.
so it's board of select too. Yeah, but that's advisory, and
Well, no,
so it's their opinion, I get it, but they don't have any fiduciary authority over anything.
right, they're advising,
Yeah.
they're advising the Board of Selectmen for as a plan.
Right.
Time's of the essence, so when does the Board of Finance meet next?
I don't know,
next Thursday.
it'll be next Thursday, that's the one I'd like to get on the agenda.
That's on our committee, they also.
Yeah, we hopscotch.
Tried for the.
Board of Finance meets Thursdays, we alternate Thursdays, this
Right.
committee, so they don't. Versus Board of Finance, simple.
Alright, so we need the equipment back, we don't wanna lose paid staff, reduce costs for engineering and consulting, there's a CERCOG. What else, what other great talking points can I use to,
We have the town line, but like Public Works, like with cost, like estimates ready to go,
sorry,
Material costs, yes.
material costs.
And I think, Andy, also the comments that were made at the public presentation.
I was just gonna say that.
To get that.
Very positive reception by the
That's
community
excellent, that's excellent.
to the consultant's report. Because the Board of Finance was looking for that. They didn't trust us. They wanted us to get, you know, a professional evaluation. We got it, the public heard it, and they liked it. You know, the guy was good, you know, guy, the right guy. You know, so I think that will resonate with the Board of Finance because
The other
especially
thing too,
particular individual.
I reached out to Troy about when it would be working to his schedule to do the drainage work around the building. And, his estimate was in September.
Very close.
So we can't. We gotta get that money free so that we can cover the material costs, so maybe we can get Public Works in there sooner. You know, the way I phrased the question was, when will it work into your schedule? Not to push him into setting something else aside to do this.
The town meeting approval, do we?
Yeah.
Anything over 20,000 we do.
We do. Ooh, that adds more timeline.
I don't think we want to nickel and dime and ask for 19,000 and then 19,000. I think that would just be playing a weird game and it would look disingenuous. Alright,
Ron, do you know if, you guys or Alex has reached out to any other contractors to see,
no,
like nights or something? Not volunteering them, but just ask them what
They're across the street.
Ask them what it would cost and when they could do it, if they could, just to get a number, I mean.
And it's like mid-July, it's like prime,
You wait till
I don't
September,
tell you,
Start tackling the
like-
drainage, you're in that before you.
I mean, certainly, for any kind of material, I think we should always use local people for that. I don't
Take
think
care, so just ask them to get a number.
Nobody sent out the bid or anything.
My work is key.
Yeah, either one, yeah. And the other thing you could mention is that Alex did say the camper's not gonna survive another.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Oh, big guess, so they'll need another,
Need some kind of
that's
facility.
the site work right there.
If we don't get going on this.
And where we've lost our storage for our, excuse me, extra ambulance. And then, come winter time, we can't keep a truck at the public works either.
Right, we're losing Becker's, I think they're not gonna, they can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
James, who does who should I talk to? Mary?
Talk to Bobby, my father,
Okay.
Bobby or Robin.
Okay.
You just call the office, if you want.
I didn't talk to him. Well, I'm gonna use my easel because I can wire.
Yeah,
My post-its, I got Sharpies and everything.
the owl's not owling,
What?
the owl's not owling.
Sure it is.
No, it's not stuck in like just this position.
Yeah.
Yeah, it stays that way.
Stays in one
I
position.
think the camera inside it turns because it's changing up on the screen.
Now that I'm mentioning it, but it was stuck on the same screen
you.
for like,
It's not going to who's talking in there.
yeah, it's not, yes, thank you. That's what I meant by owling.
Go for it.
It usually tracks the voice.
Black and blue or square field.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm just gonna write stuff down that we're talking about. Might as well, okay. So. You said we need the equipment back because we're losing. Need equipment back. Equipment housing.
Losing storage.
This is hard to write on these.
Well, you're writing with the wrong hand.
I know.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Me too.
Right.
That's a high percentage in a small group here.
Okay. Personnel, what was going on? We don't wanna lose paid staff. Camper not,
I'll say that, I'm gonna say that, Andy. I think there's a definite morale issue.
Yeah.
That occurs down there on a regular basis, but.
Everybody that's last week came in, they all were seeking a job with us.
They knew,
They knew what they were getting.
they knew what they were getting.
Yeah.
camper not sustainable.
Yeah.
Like camper not sustainable won't last another winter, need to be replaced.
The building's not conducive to a
Like,
24/7 fire EMS operation by no means
It's the
whatsoever.
heater that's the problem, right, Tyler? You can't heat when it's cold
With the in-law.
in the trailer.
Oh, these are multiple problems.
Yeah.
It's just not- It's also getting older by the day.
That's 2/3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we ended up buying air curtains to put around it, so it wouldn't freeze up for the winter.
Those things aren't major operation,
No.
when it's zero.
Yeah, so. I'm trying to get raised.
Yeah.
I might do it. For a weekend.
Yeah. That's how we do it.
Do we have any sense of the lead time while you're writing that stuff? Any sense of the lead time for, the material for the building, not the drainage, but the new insulations? No, for station.
We have something. That I think is carrying on.
Yeah, smart.
And everybody, so that everybody, it hasn't been, but we don't have a time frame.
I don't think anything was like special. Very much, no, really, right?
Are you rehabbing the North Station?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
So
Station
Is it all just generic material that's off the shelf?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, same thing.
So we get the drainage done, we could move into the reconstruction phase without waiting for anything.
Yeah, and I don't think Alex was too far.
lead
off.
time on material.
That's what I'm asking.
It's 2x4s and sheetrock. I mean, there really isn't a lot.
Okay, good.
Fixtures, I don't think.
It's all basic.
I mean, the whole kit.
The frame as is.
Yeah.
We gotta redo the sills.
I think once they get going, once that construction group gets there, I don't foresee it, in a month.
Yeah.
In by Thanksgiving?
It'd be nice. I mean, it's just, they're framing up some walls and sheetrocking and electrical work, some plumbing work. I just, they have one good idea.
I mean, the scope was like everything.
They're
Like,
taking the roof.
demo down just the steel structure.
Yeah. So you put sheets or, those steel sheets or what? And I mean, it goes up fast, so thing. I'm not gonna.
Oh, yeah, it sounds pretty simple, but
Everything.
usually it'll take probably a month to get the
There's always
skin off it.
There's always
Do everything
surprise.
out.
No,
Jeez.
everything.
I hope not.
Public Works is prepared, more or less. Oh, yeah, I needed back losing storage from surrounding towns too, right? Didn't
Right.
something about Stafford can't help us anymore, is that it?
Can't help us, and Mansfield can't help us anymore either.
Yeah.
No, but
Well, Mansell did.
Yes.
so Mansfield did that, and Stafford, first selectman said that the police needs to use that.
I think he's in back and using their payback. Yeah. All right, anything else?
Yeah, on your public works thing, we need to. I talked with Troy, I don't know if you picked up on that.
Oh, yeah, September,
September is what is convenient for them.
but that's,
That's just the, in the ground stuff.
right, and that's, yeah, we don't really know what the timeline is for this USDA grant, so.
No, I think that is probably gonna wind up coming out of the town funds. I don't think that's.
Right, I think that's right, I think it was right, we pay and then reimburse it, right, that's the way it was. Okay. What other stuff? I'm gonna be talking to probably CIP and Board of Finance, what else do I wanna? To get them to, get them to yes, what else do I
Well,
want?
CIP, and I think Tyler hit on it, CIP's not gonna have any control over releasing the funding to us.
No, but it would be nice to have them as advocates rather than adversaries.
I hope.
They've been trying all along to get plans and numbers from.
They wanna know what's coming down the pipe,
Not
not necessarily they can give us money or whatever, but they wanna know any sort of project that we
And
got.
then let's put, like,
Yeah.
we're not even asking for, just not saying we need new money. But use the money that's been allocated to facilitate using this grant.
Right.
Not cost the town money.
Right. To not ask for additional funds, to try to use the funds that have already been allocated for this project, maybe not exactly as presented, but it's still the same animal.
You might wanna also say, Andy, that this is not place our main task, which is
That's right.
because there was some friction about that recently, that, is this gonna distract people from our main charge? No, we're just trying to get Station 13 serviceable, so that we can
Which
focus on our main
is
charge.
certainly part of our main charge.
Yeah, it can fit into the main plan, I believe.
And the CIP chair was kind of critical of us about this, so, I'm just thinking, Andy, that if you just take that away, no, we're not distracted.
We're not distracted.
This is supporting our.
Exactly, supported.
And the townspeople at the hearing supported.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah, one lady in the back, on the right, holy cow, she was really so sad.
Contrary to a communication I got from CIP about wasting our money on Station 13, which I think is an absurd statement, because I don't feel that way at all.
But even if you wanna say that, I mean, whether you make the building inhabitable again, it's gonna be worth that much more if for some reason you move next door.
Right,
I mean, to have a vacant building that's condemned, I mean, it's
that's no
not
value.
worth it.
That's so, yeah.
At least you'll have a structure that you can use.
Yeah, it can certainly be,
I
part
don't
of-
see
it
it.
can certainly be part of a future plan, that
Right.
structure, that's.
Well, that parcel could be split and you could sell off that building and enough of a lot
Yeah.
for commercial use.
Not that we need to, but yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
It just,
Yeah, we
it just
ultimately
adds to
have-
the value.
We ultimately had one station. Then,
Well, with the exception of the drainage, there's no local taxpayer responsibility. It's a federal grant, right?
Right,
That's right.
like with USDA, that's what I'm saying, but let us use
Other than
that.
fronting the money.
Right.
Right.
Get a backfill, it's a line.
Yeah.
We had the generators there, and I remember when Christina was first selectman, that's where the emergency, like, command center was.
Operation center.
During that big storm.
Cause that's what precipitated the grant, was to get.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
So there you go, another one, Andy, this is our emergency
Operations center.
command center, or what do you guys call
Emergency Operations Center.
it? Thank you. Oh, I know, these aren't small things.
And emergency operation, EOC?
EOC, yeah.
Where is that now, since this thing is like,
You don't have one.
we don't have one, no, but if we had to have one, it would be like here.
Probably not. Maybe you see some type of emergency radio communication. Yeah, and so probably, we probably have something
So
technically
people
from
on
higher
firehouses.
houses.
Or it'd be the hill then, right? Yeah. Okay.
Or there, or writing was down there. All right, what other talking points? We got quite a few good ones.
Are
Organized.
you taking the credit for using town resources in Troy and Co?
I'm sorry?
Yes,
Are you-
yeah,
no, that's up there.
Well, I say they're ready, but what else, what else do we want to talk about on that?
Oh, no, it's just only, you're utilizing all our resources and praising public works.
Yeah, collaborative resources, that's good.
While simultaneously working with state and federal agencies, holy crap, I'm impressed. Are we good, Ralph, on this whole water running down that hill in case somebody brings it up?
I don't think that was as much an issue as
As those
other things.
okay.
Yeah, it's water flows downhill, we know that.
Yeah. Just wanna make sure.
But I think the faux pas that we uncovered when we were digging around that building explained quite a bit of why we had the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And rate should have been lower than it currently is.
The grade, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's understood now,
And you secured the property, right? Is that on there?
what?
We secured the property, right, from Chuck Gordon?
Well, we have to. We're
We gotta
paying
pay
for it.
for it.
If our, well,
We're department's paying for it. We got it down to 2,000 plus $1,000 conveyance fee.
awesome.
From 6 down to 2. Still got
How much now?
It's 2,000 plus 1, so $3,000.
$3,000. Okay, well, I like down,
So essentially, you can say to the Board of Finance, they're getting it for free, less a conveyance fee. Which is probably all
I
legal.
wouldn't say free, just.
Well-
13's gonna
Yeah, we're
cover it, kind of.
we're paying for it out of.
Well,
Donation, private money, whatever they have.
Well, then take credit for that. Contribution from our volunteers.
We shouldn't be paying for it at all.
Well, because we own the property, the other property, so.
No, I know why
Yeah.
it's the department that's paying for it, I get that. But my point is, it's of no use to the DOT.
Right.
So give it up, guys.
Yeah, we can't just give it to you for free. Yeah, it's an outside agency to do the conveyance, so it's $1,000.
Mike texting,
no. All right.
people can log on, the link on the town webpage says waiting for host to start meeting.
What else should we be? What other points of interest do you think they need to know about? Yeah, cool. I'll put it up. If you think of anything, we'll write it down. That's. Cool. All right. Next.
You get a lot of ammo, Andy.
Yeah, is there really anything else that,
Yeah, speed.
yeah, one of the, this is just my own musing. I think I might have shared it with Ralph or maybe at the select meeting. Can't remember, but I don't think I'm quite ready to talk about a larger plan. As far as actually getting into like OPMs and all those next steps. With these two, with this theme being something an imperative need, because we have money that we have to react to and respond. And a grant out there that may or may not come to fruition, so.
Outside of the firehouse and the North Station, there's nothing that is extremely time sensitive.
Yeah, exactly right. So I don't think we need, right, I think it is in our interest to not lose sight. I think the next thing, once this is done and because it's sort of a distraction. Once that's done and we can look at that, then we can start to say, okay, this is what now we have 2 stations that are functioning and that'll lower the temperature.
You've got accommodations for them.
But we have accommodations. We've solved some real problems that are making it difficult to operate for our emergency services teams to operate effectively. Once we put that to rest.
They're two very distinct, separate,
Exactly.
we kind of adopted the issue with the North Station.
Yes.
But they're two very distinct, separate issues.
They are.
And one of the things that you probably should put up there at some point is that the fact of the matter is that, the people, the residents that are near and north of that firehouse that have an expectation of timely service are getting a reduced level of service because of that firehouse being closed.
I want
That's not an opinion, it's just from strictly.
Well, that's what they said.
It's a fact.
They absolutely said that.
They did. Few people were very loud about it.
Yeah, right. A couple of them were pretty loud about it. So you just said that really well, again, the people, the residents closest.
The residents have an expectation
Right.
of a timely response that is now at a deficiency because of the closure of that firehouse.
Better write it down, Paul.
Yeah. Including the risk of an alteration of their insurance rates if it continues.
All right.
This will resolve that, but I don't think we have to wait till this building is buttoned up to continue with our task.
No, I'm not suggesting that, no, still move on.
And I'm just saying that was the kind of bar that was hurled at us recently.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case at all. We had a very favorable public presentation. We had a really good overview from our consultant. We have a good potential solution or solution options in place. We can start discussing those right away.
Yeah.
That will take us to the next step, which we'll be giving the number of that CIP. They want to plug into their plan.
All right.
Andy, did you get any feedback outside of the meeting?
I didn't hear that. No, we asked for, we gave them email addresses and places to reach out to.
No email,
Still never got a word from anybody outside. No, nobody. Nothing from no noise from the website or the town website. No chatter whatsoever. I think most of they expect us to do the work and
Yeah, that's what that one person said.
tell them what to do, and then they'll say they didn't, many people probably say they didn't know about it and they weren't informed, but we did everything we could to tried to inform you.
That's an ongoing one.
It is, and we probably will do it again. I mean, I think someday, once we have landed on what solution, based on what, you know, based on what we think about what our consultant brought forward, we will eventually land on something. But I find it hard personally to pull that together in my own mind, knowing that that station is gonna be fixed, and I think that's gonna change the way things look to me. I don't know. But at least it gives us a little bit of breathing room, and it brings us back to service standards that we want, and
That we had, and that we had.
that we had.
That we need.
And that we need, right, that's right. And now we can say, okay, great, this is what we got. Now what are we gonna do for our 50-year plan?
Right.
And by that time, the school thing will keep moving along, and that will have its own financial.
Yeah, without going off the tangent, but
Yeah.
I mean, where is the school committee or anybody with a new school, where?
They got a couple of concept.
That referendum coming in on October third.
Yeah, they got 3 concept plans.
There's a referendum,
October third.
just
No.
on,
6.
I'm sorry, six.
just done well.
Well, that's their target date for the referendum for the project that is selected. The thing that has not been put out publicly is whether or not the taxpayers are gonna have a choice in which project to move forward. That's been a sticking point.
So the committee has what they,
They have 3 or 4 options there.
and they're gonna pick one?
Well, right now, that's.
They sent out a minute.
Fine too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every other scars.
Some people got that anyway, some people didn't.
I'm sure it's there, I'm sure it's a thing.
Actually, that's an interesting point. Because they're putting out multiple options. And saying, well, which one is the community, they want feedback, which one is the community more favorable to?
What we should do. We should do a mailer.
I think we will, when we're ready, yeah, that's, I think.
No, even with this, let's
With what?
go to the Board of Finance next week if we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
If we can get on the agenda and see what their reaction is. And then if we have to, come up with our own mailer about what we're up against. Explaining what our goal is. And, you know, if there's areas where we're hamstrung because of whatever, let's publicize it.
Right.
Because we have overwhelming attendance by the public at our meetings here.
You're very welcome. Yeah, very well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dee, for showing some interest.
in our station.
I'm sorry.
I mean, there's board feedback from other boards and other more station or
About releasing any money to this committee, period.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was kind of disappointed that we had multiple meetings from April all the way till September, when I finally went to the Board of Finance. Like, nobody was paying any attention to what we were saying.
Maybe we should ask them again once you go and say, hey, are you gonna give us a member? That they,
Yeah, well, I wanted to about that too.
yeah,
Well, so when do you go to the board of finance?
Next week.
next week.
Well, I'm trying to figure out, I don't know.
Their meetings.
Do you
They make
want
next
to
week.
recommend either support, speaking support, moral support?
I guess somebody see moral support out.
Anything?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
I yield to you on what you think it does.
Is the plan to be on the town meeting for approval of these funds on the 15th?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we can move that fast. I don't know. I'll talk to the Board of Selectmen and see what they think.
I mean, if we're having a town meeting anyway, why don't we just piggyback on it?
Yeah.
We are having a town
The
meeting.
15th of July.
That's 15.
That's next Wednesday.
15th of July is a town meeting, set the date for the
6 days.
next budget referendum. So if we're there anyway, why don't we approve our fund?
Well,
I don't think it can be added to that agenda.
Oh, it's already been called.
Well, what's it called?
Hasn't been called yet.
Yeah, it's been called. It was weird, but it's been called.
Okay.
It seems to me like time is the one thing we don't have.
Andy, can you let in the waiting room, please?
Who wants to know?
We'll see.
Gather,
thank you, too.
Mike's the what's the name of the get in? like multiple ways.
We can't figure out how to send an email from my phone.
Can't talk to his wife.
The boss. We'll see what I need to do this out.
What are you trying to figure out?
How to send an email from my phone.
Yeah, we probably can't change the call to that meeting, can we?
I wanted to send it to,
We should have thought of that.
Yeah, we'll do it, put it,
Didn't.
Well, on the other hand, if that run fails again, we'll be done with the town meeting pretty quick.
oh, Peter, you had to say it out.
Suggest you don't know.
Well. That and the show.
So then, yeah.
everything's well. Not just here, right? Oh. I'll do email on my phone.
I'm like, go to Gmail, not use Outlook.
Apparently Jen McCoo is my teacher.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right. So. Well, anything else we want to talk about?
Well, do we have Janet or do we have Mike?
It's Mike.
Oh, Mike.
Does Jen have any updates?
Yeah,
on-
Mike. I'm here. Now you guys have no audio. I'm not sure if anyone's talking.
We had audio before.
Turn the volume up, that's where we were last time.
Somebody texted the question.
Well, if you turned up the mic, it's more nice, you could, so.
One thing I saw, but go down, keep going down, automatically adjust microphone volume.
Want to try that
I
out?
want to try that, I can't hurt at this point.
Is
I
this
can
any
hear
better?
you guys just fine, just so you know.
Oh, thanks, Katie.
Mr. McCoo residence.
Well, we just came out of Stafford through the valley, so maybe it'll be better now that we're in wonderful Willington.
Yeah.
That's,
Well, I mean, yeah,
Two.
coming down 32, I get it.
yeah, right.
Shit. Doesn't that so, yeah. You want to repeat your question around?
Oh, well, is there any updates on the grants, Mike?
So, on the CIF grant, there's nothing yet, and we're not expecting to hear anything back yet. On the USDA grant, the last conversation I had, I'm trying to remember what we've already said publicly, but since our last meeting of this group, I've had conversation with the supervisor of Megan, who we have been dealing with at USDA. Megan is off again for another 2 weeks, so she comes back to work on the 15th. I did get a hold of her supervisor, as I said, and he said that she's doing what is right based on her level of authority, but he believes that there should be some flexibility at his level. And he also said some rules have changed July 1st. And those rules have come sort of from the top down to remove some of the environmental restrictions. And where that affects us is the approval processes that were previously required for us to pay an engineer or some kind of environmental firm to do are now have been shrunken to a much smaller scope, and they're done internally at the USDA. So what that means is this whole conversation about don't do anything outside because you're going to have to do, endangered species studies and all this other stuff would go away, particularly in our case, because he asked me, what are the specifics about the work you would do? Is it in an area that's already been cleared? I said, yes, it's around the foundation of the existing building. It's not in a natural habitat anywhere, except for maybe spiders and ants. And the piping is under a parking lot that already exists to tie into an existing piping system. He said, oh, okay, well, that's going to be much easier for us to approve. We can do that internally. It should be pretty quick. Let's have a meeting after July 15th when Megan is back, and I'll bring our environmental engineer in on the project, and we'll just meet all together and try to get things turned around. So that we're waiting to confirm a date on that meeting, but he said he would try to do it the first couple days that she's back. So that's the status on USDA. Does that give me warm, fuzzy feelings now that we're already in July? No, it doesn't. But it's our opportunity right now because it is the one thing that we know is actually dedicated to this problem and to this street address. Everything else we have for options, has some other challenges or doesn't exist. So that's what I can tell you about the grants.
Hey, Mike, I think we have a catch basin project at the end of Trask Road to do. We just did it.
Yeah, it's done.
If you understand what I'm saying.
I do understand what you're saying. I'm not sure how that helps, but if you can explain how that helps, I'm happy to go with it.
We could give Public Works a green light to move forward with some work that.
Yeah, we have to come up with $20,000 for materials, though.
Well, that's an item that needs to go before Board of Finance next week. Well, we have funding for this committee.
So I think, Andy,
Oops, now you're breaking up.
There you go.
there was conversation from the CIP chair that is not necessarily the intent of that money. So I guess that needs to be explored. I kind of get both sides of the argument. So I think it's a conversation worth having. As you know, I am anxious to get this to accelerate our work, and I'm anxious to get the EMTs into a building by winter. And so if you guys think that's the way to go. And by the way, officially, I am not a voting member now. With James's appointment, I did resign my place as a voting member. So that is just for the good of the order. That is official. That happened today.
Yeah. Okay.
So you guys have all the voting members or whatever, do what you think is the right thing to do, and we'll see what happens at Board of Finance. Or if you decide not to, we won't. I don't know. I think in the meantime, we'll find out hopefully around the 16th or 17th of this month if ag is going to come through for us. And again, with what we've gone through with them so far, I'm not hopeful, but part of me says I need to be hopeful.
Wasn't there talk last time about? Mike, I feel like at the last meeting, it was mentioned that part of the grant was saying that we couldn't use that Gordian Millennium. It has to go out to competitive bid. Was that confirmed?
That was Megan's contention because her instructions are rigid that everything has to go out to bid. When I had this in-depth conversation with her supervisor, I said, I think we have that covered. And I explained the Gordian thing with the CROG solicitation. And he said, okay, so this is akin to a source well, or it's a buying consortium. He says, as a matter of fact, I'm looking at our records. I think we have done other projects through the CROG consortium. So I think you may have resolved your bidding process with this purchasing method. And I said, that's good to hear because that's the whole intent of that purchasing method.
Right, thank you. Yeah, because that was, just talk about timelines. That's certainly
Yeah. I mean, the last thing we need is to be drafting RFPs and all that. Or bid documents or whatever.
Andy, regardless of what the written intent of the allocation for Wellington One and Wellington Health for that money, that's fine. We can see that. That's for
reallocation.
For this.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're not.
Right.
All that.
I mean, things change all the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
you think you're gonna go in a certain direction and
So if you.
something happens and you change it.
You can see that it's not, yes, it's not the initial intent, but we'd like you to allocate it for this, because this is
This is
extremely
imperative
important and it's time sensitive.
and time sensitive. Exactly.
We appreciate your cooperation.
We were able to save the money on that, so we don't pay
Yes.
for that.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
We were able to save the engineering and design money because of,
We managed our funds well.
well, yep, right.
Yeah, the other thing too is I believe, if memory serves me correctly, and I think it is correct, I checked with a member of the CIP, namely Jennifer McCoo, for her memory, and we both believe that that 200,000 that this committee uses was originally money that was set aside for Willington Hill in CIP and was redirected to be used for this committee for these purposes. Is that right? Is my memory all right? Did we lose you guys?
No, I don't. Can you hear us?
I can now.
Yes, that's what James and Chief were saying, that was originally the Willington Hill money.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And so it got repurposed because this committee's work was determined to be the more critical item at the time. And so it goes along with the idea that you have to sometimes shift gears.
Yes, and now I guess one question I have was that money, when it was Willington Hill's money, was that also strictly for design and engineering?
If memory serves me correctly, and the chief and James hopefully can confirm, there was a year previous to that was the 110,000, which was supposed to be for survey and initial site work, engineering type stuff, fit study, those kind of things. And that was already in an approved budget year when these changes happened. So because that was already approved in the fiscal year's budget, it was not something that could be redirected by the capital improvement committee.
Okay.
But in the next year upcoming was the next set of money, which was the 200,000, which was supposed to be for the further design and engineering after the 110, in what was the current year at that time. So because that was still in the CIP plan and not in the approved current year budget of that era, it could be reassigned by CIP. So they moved it in the plan, if I remember right. Or maybe went to Board of Finance and got it removed. I'm still trying to find that information. But that's back in 2024, 2025-ish. So.
Yeah. So it was always allocated for design and engineering and not actual construction, which is fine. We're just asking, we gotta ask, that's all we're gonna ask.
So Mike, was that money actually approved by the taxpayers at referendum?
Yeah.
Was that in a budget
Yeah.
year that was approved?
Yes.
So the.
Well,
only-
yeah, the 200 you're talking about, was it approved for Willington Hill in a budget year?
Was it, I don't care what it was for, was the dollar figure part of the actual budget that passed referendum?
Yeah, the $200,000 is sitting in a bank account right now. Well, the remainders of the 200,000.
Being designated for Willington Hill. Willington Hill concedes that they're willing to allow.
We've already gone through that process.
We've already done that.
We've already gone through that process.
We went to use it, and what happened after that was the Board of Finance, I believe it was, at the time, said, we're not going to approve spending it, held on to it, and then
I don't think they,
gave it to this committee.
yeah, I don't think they can do that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't really get
They
that.
can't do that. It's approved by the taxpayers, it's approved by the.
It was approved by the taxpayers, that's what my argument was at the time.
Right.
Follow them on that.
It went through the process, it was, town meeting.
You're like, just because it's approved by the taxpayers doesn't mean we can grant it.
That's not
Right.
Well,
So I really don't have a lot of time to spend digging up the history, but I was playing videos, the old meeting YouTube videos in the background today during the day while I was working at double speed, of course, trying to listen to a bunch of meetings. And I think there was a lot of discussion about this, and I know I was involved in the discussion. I was very adamant with CIP that if once it's approved by the taxpayer, CIP has no authority because CIP doesn't have financial authority. They have planning power. So whatever way it got redirected was either going into the next year's CIP and then approved by the taxpayers, or redirected by the Board of Finance, because I don't think that the chief and James and I, all three of us, would have missed that opportunity to say, hey, this has to be done right if you're going to take this away from the Willington Hill plan. So I'm sure it was reassigned properly, whether we agreed with it or not.
That being the case, do we or do we not have to go to town meeting to release these funds?
We do.
We do.
Yeah, even if it's approved referendum, so it's anything over 20 grand, you have to go.
Well, how quickly can we do that?
Well, I just emailed Stephanie to get put on the agenda for next Thursday, if she'll allow it. If not, I'll do present to speak. But I'll get out there and talk about it.
Well, maybe,
But, just
I'll show up.
if it's all, I mean, I do have to be careful that you're comfortable that if I don't get on the agenda, but I am there present to speak, I can speak on behalf of the committee as long as I stick to those general subjects.
Make a motion to say that.
Well, yeah,
Just do it.
Okay,
do it.
Yeah.
all right, cool. I just have to be careful that, am I speaking, people can ask, am I speaking with the committee, I'll say yes. Yes, as long as we're all on board with that, thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a smart move. Get consensus authorization from the committee. Yes, I agree.
Okay, I think we're all good with that.
Excellent. And if anybody wants to come and give me moral support, I sure would appreciate it. Cause I'll just stumble on facts and people are gonna ask me something I don't know, and collectively, probably somebody does know it.
Well, some of the board of finance members are also CIP members.
Yeah, well, it's fine, it's a conversation.
Yes.
I'm not gonna get wrapped around the axle thing and have to, I don't know.
There's no service on me, sorry.
It's a conversation with other members of the town. We're all pretty much, we're supposed to be on the same side and kind of working towards common goals, and that's the way I like to look at it. It's not an adversary, it's not a hostile environment, it's a conversation.
There is no more
It's
common
supposed to be.
goal. than-
That's right, it's taxpayer money, we'd like to use it for a good
Yes, it is.
goal and get people safe again, that's what we're trying to do.
Get back to what we had.
How can that be a bad thing? Like, why would you not want to?
While we're working on our main.
July, we're working on the main charge, there's a lot of threads happening. You know, it's a 6-lane highway, everybody's on.
Dare I say it, Andy, unlike our counterparts, we are fixing our roofs.
We are.
Ralph appreciates that.
I'm not gonna touch that one for now.
All right, moving on.
Yeah,
Moving on, I don't know, do we have anything else to talk about? I don't really think so.
I don't think so.
Anybody else wanna bring anything up? We'll do,
No correspondence.
no correspondence, nobody wants to talk.
Well, you don't, I don't know, they're hidden.
Can you click on participants again? Just in case someone's got a hand up. No,
Do,
There's just three, so I think it's just three.
we can do present to speak, as they'll be in the room. Dee Dee, Mike, Jen, you guys have anything you wanna say under present to speak?
Mike wants to join again.
Go
I
ahead,
just
Jenny.
want to say thank you all for your time, and this was an interesting conversation.
Really?
Guys, was there anything else earlier in the meeting you needed from me?
Just your
No, I think we-
undying support.
The update, that was it.
Can we cover his hesitation at the selectmen meeting, you were talking about it earlier? Hesitated on something.
A what?
I'm sorry, say again?
Initially, you were talking about Mike was hesitant of something at the selectmen meeting. Can't remember exactly.
What was that about? I don't remember now.
Disregard them.
About trying to like finalize Public Works doing it because they got the.
Oh, yeah. Like, I had an informal conversation with Troy about when, doing any below the ground work at Station 13 could fit into his, workload. And his guesstimate in that conversation was sometime in September. I don't know if there's any way to, I don't want to force this being something that should be a high priority for Troy. On the other hand, we're gonna be strapped for time here.
Yeah, I think that is manageable. I think that is less of a roadblock than getting through these other issues of grant or other internal sources of funding and can we do the rest of the work on the building also? So I think that, I wouldn't get too worried about the schedule for public works. I think that's more manageable than these other things.
And the question was phrased, when would it conveniently work into his backlog?
Yeah.
When I asked the question, that's not to say that it can't be changed.
Yeah.
Michael?
I think, go ahead.
Another thing we talked about earlier was that the committee will have a representative on site to observe the proceedings and be able to report back to the committee and the Board of Selectmen on day-to-day progress and whatever's happening on site. If and when, when construction starts, there will be a member of this committee observing and being able to report back on a weekly basis.
I think we should stick with that concept, but how it actually plays out may, depending on how we procure the work, we may or may not need it because there may be a requirement, depending on the USDA rules, for us to have some sort of a paid representative of their, I don't know, whatever, their design or their level of qualification or whatever. But I agree on the concept. We need QA/QC. So we'll keep this conversation open and make sure we get QA/QC.
But it's still, there's nothing wrong with a member of the committee there being there and just observing.
Of course. Yep.
Okay.
Jen McCoo has her hand up for present to speak, if you're ready for her.
We are.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much. I wasn't going to say anything, but I just want to bring to everyone's attention. I don't even know who said it, but there was a comment made about roofs, and I want to just. I've sat in that seat. I've said things that I wish I could take back, and you can't. So things are so divisive in this town. Comments like our counterparts don't take care of their roofs or whatever the comment was, that's just not appropriate. And people don't need more ammunition to hurl at other sides. And I just wanted to say that. Thank you for entertaining my comment.
Thank you.
Thanks for the input. A valid point.
All right, anybody else? Nobody in the room? Next meeting, 3 July 2026. Meeting adjourned.